Ralph's voice cut through the midnight silence like a jackhammer through concrete. Dad, listen to me carefully. Lock every door in that house right now. Kill all the lights. Get down to your workshop in the basement. Don't come out until I call you back. My hand tightened around the phone. The red numbers on my bedside clock glowed 12:17 a.m. Ralph, what the hell? And Dad, whatever you do, don't tell Helen I called. The line went dead. I sat there in my bedroom, heart hammering against my ribs like a pneumatic drill. Ralph works law enforcement, has for 15 years. He doesn't make midnight calls unless someone's life is on the line. I'm Eugene Murphy, 59 years old. Been running Murphy Demolition and Excavation here in Cleveland for 32 years. Built it from a $5,000 loan and a beat-up bulldozer into a $2.8 million operation with 23 employees. I've torn down everything from old warehouses to condemned hospitals. Point is, I know structural integrity when I see it. And right now, something in my life was about to collapse. Helen had been living with me for the past 18 months, ever since my son Stanley died in that construction accident. Military training, 2 tours in Afghanistan, comes home safe, then gets killed by a drunk driver hitting his work truck. Life's got a twisted sense of timing sometimes. Helen's his widow. Sweet girl, or so I thought. After the funeral, she couldn't afford her apartment on a teacher's salary, so I told her she could stay here as long as she needed. Stanley would have wanted his dad to take care of his wife. That's what family does. But something had been feeling off lately. Load calculations didn't add up, you know? Helen asking too many questions about the business. Her new husband, Albert. They got married last spring, which seemed fast, but grief makes people do strange things. Albert always steering conversations toward my retirement plans and whether I'd had my mental faculties checked recently. I slipped out of bed, moved through the house like I was navigating a demolition site. Every creak of the floorboard sounded like thunder. I checked the front door, locked. Back door locked, windows secure. Then I killed the lights one by one, watching my house disappear into darkness. The basement stairs groaned under my weight. Each step felt like it might give way, but these old boards had held me for 35 years. My workshop sat in the far corner, where I keep my project truck, a 1985 Chevy I've been rebuilding since Stanley was in high school. The small window faces the driveway, gives you a decent view of anyone coming or going. I settled into my work chair, surrounded by engine parts and the smell of motor oil. The digital clock on my workbench showed 12:43 a.m. Whatever Ralph was worried about, I'd see it coming. The minutes crawled by like concrete setting. 12:50, 100. Nothing but the occasional car passing on the street, normal late-night traffic. Maybe Ralph had been wrong. Maybe footsteps overhead. Heavy boots moving across my living room floor. I pressed myself against the cold basement wall, barely breathing. Through the thin ceiling I could hear voices. Helen's voice talking to someone. A man's voice responding too muffled to make out words. Then I heard it clearly. He's asleep upstairs. Everything's quiet. Nobody's going to interrupt us. My blood turned to ice. Helen wasn't a victim here. She was part of whatever was happening. The workshop window offered a narrow slice of the outside world. I positioned myself in the darkest corner where I could see out but remain invisible. At 1:20 a.m., 2 cars rolled up my street, headlights off. They moved like predators through dark water, smooth, silent, deadly. Both vehicles parked at my curb. 4 men emerged, dressed in dark clothing. No faces visible in the streetlight, just shadows moving with purpose. Helen opened my front door before they knocked. My own daughter-in-law letting strangers into my house like she'd been expecting them. I thought about Stanley at that moment. How proud he'd been when he brought Helen home to meet me 6 years ago. Dad, she's the one, he'd said, grinning like he'd just won the lottery. She gets me, you know? Understands what family means. What family means. The irony burned like acid in my throat. Through the narrow window, I watched them file into my home where I'd raised 2 boys, where my wife had died peacefully in our bed, where every room held 40 years of memories. These strangers walked through my door like they owned it. The footsteps moved through the house above me. I could track their progress by sound. Living room, hallway heading toward my home office, toward my safe. I'd given Helen the combination 8 months ago when she'd asked about important documents. What if something happens to Eugene? What if there's an emergency and I need insurance papers or your will? Made perfect sense at the time. Family helping family. Now I realized I'd handed her the keys to everything I'd built. 20 minutes passed. The footsteps moved around upstairs, systematic and thorough. These weren't random thieves looking for jewelry or electronics. They knew exactly what they were after. Then I heard them leaving. Voices at the front door, some kind of exchange, car doors slamming, engines starting. The predators melted back into the night as silently as they'd come. I waited another hour before moving. My legs had cramped from staying in one position, but I couldn't risk being heard. When I finally climbed those basement stairs, every joint protested. The house looked normal, too normal. Helen's bedroom door was closed, no light underneath. Either she was asleep or putting on a hell of a performance. I moved toward my office, dreading what I'd find. The safe sat behind a painting of Lake Erie that Stanley had given me for Father's Day when he was 12. My hands shook as I spun the combination. Inside, chaos. Documents scattered, obviously rifled through in a hurry. Several important papers were missing. The deed to my house, my original will, some business contracts. But there was something new. A manila envelope tucked behind my insurance papers where it didn't belong. Inside was a document that stopped my heart cold. Petition for determination of incapacity and appointment of guardian. My name was at the top, Eugene Murphy, age 59. The petition claimed I was suffering from dementia, memory loss, confusion about business matters, inability to manage my own affairs safely. It requested that Helen Stewart Rodriguez and her husband Albert Rodriguez be appointed as my legal guardians with complete control over my finances, property, and medical decisions. I read it 3 times. Each time my hands shook harder. They'd been planning this for months, maybe longer. Every time I'd forgotten where I put my keys, every appointment I'd mixed up, every normal thing that happens when you're running a business and dealing with grief, they'd been documenting it all, building a case that I was losing my mind. The petition was dated but not filed yet, a draft, waiting for the right moment to spring the trap. I sat in my kitchen until dawn broke, holding that document, thinking about structural engineering. In demolition, you don't just blow things up randomly. You study the building, find the load-bearing walls, identify the weak points. Then you place your charges precisely where they'll do the most damage. Helen and Albert had been studying me the same way, finding my weak points, setting their charges, getting ready to bring down everything I'd built with one controlled explosion. But here's the thing about being in the demolition business for 32 years. You learn to think like the building you're tearing down. You understand pressure points and structural failure. And sometimes, just sometimes, you can reinforce the weak spots before the charges go off. By 6 a.m., Helen was moving around upstairs. Normal morning sounds, shower running, coffee brewing, the performance of normalcy resuming right on schedule. I stayed in my kitchen, that petition spread on the table in front of me, planning my next moves like I was setting charges for a controlled demolition. When she came downstairs, all dressed for work and carrying her teacher's bag, I was ready. "Morning, Jean," she said, pouring coffee like nothing had happened. "You're up early, couldn't sleep, you know how it is." She settled at the kitchen table, close enough that I could smell her perfume, the same scent she'd worn to Stanley's funeral. "Actually, I wanted to talk to you about something. Albert and I have been worried about you lately." Here it comes. I thought, the setup for their demolition job. Worried about what? Well, you've been forgetting things, important things. Yesterday you told Mrs. Patterson next door that you were going to demolish the old Sears building, but that project finished 3 weeks ago. I had said that because I'd been thinking about the next phase, the parking lot reconstruction. But Helen wasn't there for context. She just heard an old man confused about his work. "And last Tuesday, you missed your appointment with Dr. Carter. The receptionist called here looking for you." Also true. I'd been dealing with equipment breakdown on the Morrison Street job, completely spaced on the doctor visit. Normal stuff when you're managing a business, but in Helen's hands it became evidence of cognitive decline. "Jean, we think you should see a specialist. Someone who can evaluate whether you're, still able to handle all the business responsibilities." I looked at her across the table. This woman I'd welcomed into my home, treated like the daughter I'd never had, trusted with everything. She was setting charges on my life's work, preparing for controlled demolition. "What kind of specialist?" I asked, Playing along, Albert knows someone. Dr. Howard Pierce. Very experienced with men your age, I bet he does. Probably the same doctor who'd sign off on their incompetency petition. I'll think about it, I said. After she left for Westside Elementary, I made my calls, first to my business attorney, Carol Jenkins. I'd used Carol for contracts and legal issues for 15 years. Straight shooter, no nonsense, tougher than the concrete we break up. Carol, I need help. Someone's trying to have me declared incompetent, and I think it's fraud. Come in this afternoon, Jean. Bring everything you've got. Second call was to Ralph. He answered before the first ring finished. Dad, are you okay? What happened last night? Long story, son. But I need to know something. You work financial crimes now, right? White-collar investigations, yeah. Why? Albert Rodriguez. Helen's husband. He's a lawyer, corporate law. Can you run a background check? Silence then. Dad, what's going on? I told him everything. The midnight visitors, the petition, the missing documents, Helen's performance this morning. Ralph listened without interrupting, and I could practically hear him taking notes. Jesus, he said when I finished. Dad, this sounds like elder financial abuse. Textbook case. I've seen this pattern before. Can you help me? Officially? No conflict of interest because you're family. But I can point you toward resources, and I can do some informal checking on Albert's law firm without putting my name on anything. Do it? Dad? Be careful. If they're this organized, they're not going to just give up. Watch your back. That afternoon, I sat in Carol Jenkins' office on the 12th floor of the Terminal Tower, downtown Cleveland spread out below us like a blueprint. I laid out the whole situation, the petition, Helen's behavior, the midnight break-in, everything. Carol listened, took notes, asked smart questions. When I finished, she leaned back in her chair. Jean, you're in serious trouble, but you caught it early. That gives us advantages. Most people don't realize what's happening until they're already in court, already losing. She pulled out a legal pad. Here's what we need to do, and we need to do it fast. First, you need an independent psychiatric evaluation, someone they can't buy or influence. I know a doctor, Norman Carter. He'll document that you're completely competent. How long will that take? I can get you in tomorrow morning. Norman owes me a favor. What else? Second, we change every lock in your house. New combination on your safe. They can't have access to anything else while we're building our case. Won't Helen notice? Let her notice. By the time she figures out what's happening, we'll be 3 steps ahead. Carol's smile reminded me of the expression I get when I'm about to drop a building that's been standing too long. Third, we draft new legal documents. New will revoke any powers of attorney you might have signed and prepare a countersuit for financial exploitation and emotional distress. You think we can win? Jean, you run a multi-million-dollar business. You manage 23 employees, handle EPA regulations, deal with city permits, coordinate with union contractors. Your company's safety record is spotless. If you were incompetent, Murphy Demolition would have collapsed years ago. She was right. Every morning I reviewed job schedules, equipment maintenance, payroll decisions. Yesterday I'd caught an error in a structural engineer's calculations that could have cost us $50,000. Not exactly the behavior of a man losing his mind. We'll document everything, Carol continued. Your business operations, decision-making capability, daily management responsibilities. Then we'll show exactly what Helen and Albert have been doing. Isolating you, documenting normal forgetfulness, setting you up for a legal ambush. How much is this going to cost me? Less than letting them steal everything you've built. We're talking about $2.8 million in business assets, your house, your savings, everything. What's that worth to you? Everything. Doctor. Norman Carter's office was nothing like I expected. Not sterile and clinical, but comfortable. Felt like talking to an old friend who happened to have medical degrees on his wall. The evaluation took 3 hours. Memory tests, problem-solving exercises, questions about managing my business and daily life. He was thorough, asking about everything from equipment purchases to employee management decisions. Mr. Murphy, he said afterward, I'm going to be completely straightforward with you. There is absolutely nothing wrong with your cognitive function. Your memory is excellent for someone half your age. Your reasoning is sharp. Your problem-solving skills are superior. Your ability to manage complex business operations is clearly demonstrated. So if someone's trying to have me declared incompetent, they're either gravely mistaken Or they're lying for personal gain. His expression hardened. Based on what you've told me about their behavior, I suspect the latter. He handed me a sealed envelope. This is my complete evaluation and professional opinion. If they try to pursue guardianship, this report will shut them down immediately. That evening, while Helen was at what she called curriculum planning but was probably strategizing with Albert, I had the slucksmith come over. P.T. Morrison had done security work for my business sites for years. Solid guy, asked no questions. Kicked out some freeloaders, he asked, while installing new deadbolts. Something like that. Smart man. Never let people take advantage, even if they're family. Especially if they're family, I said. After Pete left, I walked through my house testing each lock. For the first time in months, I felt like I actually owned my own home again. Helen could live here temporarily, but she sure as hell didn't control it anymore. The new safe combination was Stanley's birthday, 08-15-91. The day my son came into this world, healthy and strong and ready to take on anything life threw at him. If Helen and Albert wanted to steal from his memory, they'd have to work a lot harder for it. I sat in my workshop that night, surrounded by the tools of my trade, thinking about structural engineering and controlled demolitions. Tomorrow, Helen would come home to find her key didn't work. She'd realize something had changed, that the old man she'd been manipulating wasn't as helpless as she'd thought. The foundation of her plan was about to develop some serious cracks. Helen came home at 6:30 p.m., same as always. I heard her car in the driveway, listened to her footsteps on the front porch, watched her try her key in the lock that no longer recognized it. The cursing started immediately. Not the language you'd expect from a third-grade teacher, but I guess desperation brings out people's true vocabulary. I opened the door before she could start pounding on it. Jean, what happened to the locks? Had them changed? Security upgrade. Her face went through several colors. Security upgrade. Why didn't you tell me? Why don't I have new keys? Because you don't live here anymore, Helen. You're married now. Time you and Albert found your own place. She stared at me like I'd grown a second head. This wasn't the confused old man she'd been manipulating for 18 months. This was someone who'd figured out her game. What are you talking about? We discussed this. Albert and I are helping you manage things because you're having trouble. Because I'm what, Helen? Having trouble? Losing my mind? Suffering from dementia? The color drained from her face so fast I thought she might pass out. I stepped aside, let her into what used to be her temporary home. We need to talk. She followed me to the kitchen, moving like she was walking to her own execution. I had the petition laid out on the table along with copies of the documents Carol Jenkins had prepared. Recognize this? I asked, tapping the guardianship petition. Helen's mouth opened and closed like a fish out of water. No sound came out. I found it in my safe. The safe you've had the combination to for 8 months. Along with evidence that you and Albert have been planning this for quite a while. She finally found her voice. Jean, I can explain. I'm sure you can. You're good at explaining things. Very convincing. I sat down across from her, calm as concrete. But here's what I'm curious about. When exactly did you decide my dead son's father was worth more to you as a legal ward than as family? Tears started flowing. Real ones this time, not the performance tears I'd been seeing. Albert said it was the only way to protect the business, to make sure Stanley's legacy was preserved. He said you were getting confused, making bad decisions that could bankrupt the company. Stanley's legacy. My voice came out harder than I'd intended. You used my dead son's memory to justify stealing everything I built? She flinched like I'd slapped her. Let me tell you about Stanley's legacy, Helen. It's a demolition company that's never had a serious accident in 32 years. It's 23 employees who've never missed a paycheck, even during the recession. It's a reputation for honest work and fair dealing that took me 3 decades to build. I leaned forward. Stanley's legacy isn't something you preserve by having his father declared incompetent. It's something you honor by letting that father continue the work his son was proud of. But Albert showed me the financial reports. Albert showed you numbers he wanted you to see. Did he show you our contracts for next year? Did he mention that we just landed the demolition job for the old West Side Hospital? $1.2 million project, Helen. Biggest contract in company history. Her hands were shaking now. He said the business was failing, that you couldn't handle the complexity anymore. The only thing failing here is your husband's law practice. Ralph did some checking. Rodriguez and Associates has 3 other cases of elder financial abuse currently under investigation. Seems like Albert's developed a specialty in stealing from old people. Helen's face went white. That's not possible. Albert's a respected attorney. Albert's a predator who married into my family to get access to my assets. And you helped him do it. I pulled out the contract Carol Jenkins had drawn up. This is an eviction notice. Pennsylvania law gives you 30 days to find somewhere else to live. You can just throw me out. I have rights. No, Helen, you have 30 days. That's what the law gives you, and it's more than you deserve. She read through the document, tears dropping onto the legal paper. Jean, please, where am I supposed to go? Albert and I don't have money for deposits, and should have thought about that before you tried to steal my house. The phone rang. Helen jumped like it was a gunshot. I answered it, keeping my eyes on her. Mr. Murphy, this is Detective Sarah Coleman, Cleveland PD. I need to speak with you about a complaint we received regarding elder financial abuse. I'll be right there, I said, loud enough for Helen to hear every word. After I hung up, Helen was crying openly. Jean, I'm so sorry, I never wanted it to go this far. Albert said it was just paperwork, that nothing would really change, that we'd take care of you by controlling my bank accounts, by having me declared mentally incompetent, by stealing the business I built with my own hands. I thought, you thought what? That I was too old and stupid to figure it out. I stood up. Let me tell you something, Helen. I've been tearing down buildings for 32 years. I know how to spot structural weaknesses, how to identify load-bearing walls, how to bring down something that looks solid but is rotten inside. She looked up at me, mascara streaking down her cheeks. Your marriage to Albert? It's got structural problems. This scheme you've been running? Foundation's cracked. And that petition to have me declared incompetent, the whole thing's about to collapse. I walked to the door. Pack your things tonight. I'm going to see Detective Coleman. And when I get back, I want you gone. What about Albert? What about the petition? Albert can explain himself to the FBI. As for the petition, go ahead and file it if you want. I've got Dr. Norman Carter's psychiatric evaluation that says I'm more competent than most men half my age. I've got business records showing complex decision-making and successful operations. And I've got recordings of you and Albert discussing how to steal everything from the confused old man. Her face went dead white. Recordings? Did you really think I'd sit in my own house and let you plan my destruction without gathering evidence? I've been in business for 32 years, Helen. I didn't build this company by being naive. I opened the door. 30 days. Find somewhere else to live, because this house, this business, and this family are done with you. Jean, please. The only reason I'm not having you arrested tonight is because Stanley loved you once. That memory is the only thing standing between you and a jail cell. Don't waste it. I left her sitting at my kitchen table, sobbing over legal documents that spelled out exactly how much her betrayal was going to cost her. Detective Coleman was waiting at the precinct, a sharp-eyed woman in her 40s who'd seen every kind of family betrayal imaginable. She listened to my story, examined the evidence Carol Jenkins had prepared, and made notes that filled 3 pages. Mr. Murphy, this is one of the most organized elder abuse schemes I've seen. The documentation, the psychiatric manipulation, the systematic isolation, they really thought this through. What happens now? Now we build a case. Federal charges for the financial crimes, state charges for the exploitation. Your daughter-in-law might want to consider cooperating with our investigation, because her husband is looking at some serious prison time. I drove home through the dark Cleveland streets, past the buildings I'd torn down over the years, past the empty lots that were now parks or new construction. Sometimes you have to clear away what's broken before you can build something better. Helen's car was gone when I got home. So were her clothes, her books, her pictures of Stanley. She'd left the key on the kitchen table along with a note. I'm sorry, Jean. You deserved better from me. She was right about that. But sorry doesn't rebuild trust any more than it rebuilds a building you've demolished. Some things, once they're brought down, stay down. 3 weeks later, Ralph called me at the office. I was reviewing blueprints for the West Side Hospital demolition when his voice came through the speakerphone, tight with controlled excitement. Dad, they arrested Albert this morning. I set down my coffee mug, looked across the desk at Rosa Martinez, my office manager for the past 12 years. She'd been handling the phones during all this legal mess, fielding calls from reporters and lawyers with the efficiency of someone who'd seen everything twice. "What charges?" I asked. "Federal wire fraud, mail fraud, conspiracy to commit elder financial abuse." The FBI found evidence linking him to at least 8 other cases across 3 states. Total damages over $3.2 million. Rosa whistled low. She'd never liked Albert. Said he had lawyer eyes that looked at everything like it had a price tag. "What about Helen? No charges yet." "She's cooperating fully with the investigation, gave them everything, documents, phone records, emails." Looks like she really didn't know about the other victims. I wasn't sure if I felt relieved or disappointed. Part of me wanted Helen to face consequences for what she'd done. Another part of me remembered the scared girl Stanley had brought home for Sunday dinner 6 years ago, nervous about meeting his father. "Dad, there's something else. Albert tried to use his one phone call to contact you. What did he want to make a deal? Said he'd drop all claims against you and your business if you'd talk to the prosecutor about reducing his sentence." I laughed, a sound like concrete mixer starting up. "After 32 years in demolition, you learn to recognize structural damage beyond repair. Tell Albert he can save his breath." The preliminary hearing was set for a Thursday morning in downtown Cleveland. Federal courthouse, serious business. I wore my good suit, the one I'd bought for Stanley's funeral, and sat in the gallery watching Albert Rodriguez face the music. He looked smaller in his orange jumpsuit, not like the confident attorney who'd been planning to steal my life's work. His public defender couldn't afford his own lawyer anymore, tried to argue for bail reduction, but Judge Patricia Wong wasn't having it. "Mr. Rodriguez, the evidence suggests you've made a career of exploiting elderly citizens, including your own father-in-law. Bail is set at $500,000. Next case." Albert's head dropped like a building after the charges blow. He'd be staying in county lockup until trial. Outside the courthouse, Helen was waiting by my truck. She'd lost weight, looked older, worn down by the reality of what her life had become. "Jean, can we talk?" I leaned against the truck bed, studied her face. "What do you want, Helen?" "I filed for divorce yesterday. My lawyer says it'll protect me from Albert's debts, from the restitution he'll have to pay." She wrapped her arms around herself. "I'm moving back to Akron, staying with my sister until I can find work." "Good. That's it. Just good?" "What do you want me to say, Helen? That I forgive you? That we can go back to being family?" Tears started again. Seemed like she'd been crying for weeks. "I know I don't deserve it, but I need you to know. I loved Stanley, really loved him, and I thought I was doing right by his memory." "Stanley's memory doesn't need your protection. It needs your respect, and you can't respect someone's memory while you're betraying their father." She nodded, wiping her eyes. "The civil suit Carol Jenkins says you're asking for $175,000 in damages. That's right, I'll never be able to pay that. I'm going back to substitute teaching, maybe $200 a day when there's work. Should have thought about that before you tried to have me declared incompetent." I got in my truck, started the engine. Through the windshield, I could see her standing there in the courthouse parking lot, looking lost and broken. For a moment, I almost felt sorry for her. Almost. But then I remembered sitting in my basement workshop, listening to strangers walk through my house, knowing my own daughter-in-law had let them in. Some betrayals cut too deep for forgiveness. The trial happened 6 months later. Albert got 12 years federal prison, plus restitution to all victims. The prosecutor called it one of the most systematic elder abuse schemes we've prosecuted. His law license was revoked, his assets seized, his reputation destroyed. Helen sent me postcards occasionally, working as a hotel desk clerk in Akron, making payments on the civil judgment when she could $150 a month, sometimes more, sometimes less. The postcards never said much, working hard, paying what I can. Still sorry. I kept them in a box in my workshop, next to a photo of Stanley in his army uniform. Maybe someday I'd decide what to do with them, but not today. Ralph came by the house one evening in late spring, almost a year after that midnight phone call that started everything. We sat on the back porch, drinking beer and watching the sun set over Cleveland. "How you doing, Dad? Really?" "Better than I expected. Business is good. The hospital job went so well, we got contracted for 3 more demolitions next year. Biggest year in company history. And personally, I thought about it. The house felt different without Helen's presence, but cleaner somehow. Like a job site, after you've cleared away all the debris and structural damage, I'm learning something interesting, I said, about trust and family and what those things really mean. What's that? Family isn't just blood. It's the people who show up when things get hard, who have your back when others are trying to tear you down. You did that, Ralph. Carol Jenkins did that. Rosa at the office, Pete the locksmith, even Detective Coleman, they all had my back. I took a long drink of beer. Helen was blood, but she wasn't family. Not when it mattered, Ralph nodded. Think you'll ever forgive her? Don't know. Maybe forgiveness is like demolition. You have to wait until the dust settles before you can see what's worth saving and what needs to be cleared away permanently. We sat in comfortable silence, watching the city lights come on. Somewhere out there, Albert Rodriguez was serving his time, learning what it felt like to have someone else control every aspect of his life. Helen was working her hotel job, sending her $150 a month, trying to rebuild something from the wreckage of her choices. And I was here, 60 years old now, running a successful business, living in a house that belonged to me and nobody else, surrounded by people I could trust. Sometimes the best revenge isn't destroying your enemies. Sometimes it's just surviving with your dignity intact while they destroy themselves. My phone buzzed. Text message from Rosa. Murphy Demolition just got invited to bid on the old Cleveland Stadium site. Biggest project in city history. You interested? I smiled. Typed back. Send me the specs. Let's see what we're working with. At 60, I was just getting started. Some buildings take decades to plan properly before you can bring them down. Others get built stronger than ever after you clear away the foundation problems. I was betting on the latter. The Murphy demolition trucks would roll out tomorrow morning, same as always. We had work to do, buildings to tear down, sites to clear for whatever came next. And I'd be right there with my crew, hard hat on, watching another controlled demolition turn chaos into clean, level ground ready for something better. That's what we do. That's what survives. Sometimes the people who hurt you the most are the ones you trusted the most, but that doesn't mean you stop building. It just means you build smarter foundations. Age isn't about how many years you've lived. It's about how many battles you've survived and how much wisdom you've gained from each one.